Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
My nipple was so damaged that basically they had to just reconstruct a whole new nipple. They had to take some skin from the inside of my thigh, basically to create a whole new areola, and then the rest was tattooed.
The whole purpose behind law is to right wrong. I want justice to be something that isn't this foreign concept.
Justice knows no boundaries. The truth will be heard. Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Exotic dancer Shilo Perkins is suing Craig Holloway in the amount of $3,660 for medical bills. The plaintiff claims she was injured while giving the defendant a private dance. The defendant claims it was an accident.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. Ms. Perkins, you're in college right now, huh?
Yes, Your Honor, yes.
All right, you're going full-time or part-time?
I am part-time.
All right, and I know that you are engaging in this type of work to help pay for your college education. You're paying for it all by yourself.
Exactly.
And you're suing Mr. Holloway here in the amount of $3,660 over injuries that you sustained that you believe he's responsible for.
He is responsible.
And why is he responsible?
Well, to start off, this case is very sensitive for me due to the fact that we are classmates.
The circumstances as to how you all interacted was not necessarily the most ideal. Fair enough?
Not the first time I wanted to meet really face to face.
All right, so let's talk about the meeting. How did that all come about?
So I'm a private dancer. He is part of our football team.
Right.
And basically the seniors came to me through the internet and said that we want to throw a private event for the team, the younger players, freshman players.
Did you know he played on the football team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've seen him play quite a few times.
Okay.
And, I'm a fan of our school, so I like to support.
So you knew who he was and the guys, so you felt comfortable putting yourself in that environment. And do you go to these things by yourself? Do you bring someone with you just for...
I want to say exactly comfortable. This is the first time that I actually dealt with someone at school.
All right. And then what happened?
So his fellow teammates came to me and said that they want to host a party. I told them the expectations that I have from the team, the respect that I should be given, as well as the limitations that I have
when you
for
say
private
respect,
parties.
are you saying in terms of what they can do, what they can say?
Exactly.
And are you performing clothed or are you en natural?
I am derobing my clothing, yes.
Right, so at some point you're at a stage of not having clothes on.
Yes. I come down to basically a G-string.
All right. So this was being planned. You had no knowledge that this was going on.
No, sir.
And this is your first year with the team.
Yes, sir.
All right, but I take it this ritual of guys and football players and hazing, whether it's fraternities, sororities, band camp, all of these things involve some level of people doing these.
It's the rite of passage.
And this was the rite of passage.
Yes, sir.
You obviously would not be the only freshman.
Mm-hmm.
So were there other freshmen that were also a part of this?
There were a few, but I was first up, so.
And what does that mean, being first up?
They threw me down on the chair first.
Okay, so you are on the chair, and then you're doing your thing.
He didn't get thrown down. He voluntarily sat down.
Okay, and he sat down on the chair, and then what do you do from that point?
Honestly, I just want to give him the night of his life. I wanted him to remember me. And at that time, he had had a couple of drinks himself. Mm-hmm. And that was when I decided to put a blindfold on him. And unfortunately, this is when things go really downhill. Basically, we're facing frontward. He gets a little more grabby. He gets more comfortable. I have nipple piercings. And he, at the time, and I'm sure he's still wearing it, has a football ring from his high school. And it unfortunately locked into my barbell. And the last thing I remember is screaming at the top of my lungs because my nipple is literally hanging. It's shredded. Blood is everywhere. I'm literally in my G-string, freaking out. This is the worst thing that could ever happen to me. On top of that, I'm extremely embarrassed because, again, this is my classmate. I'm in front of people that I go to school with. And this is my line of work. This is the worst thing that could ever happen to me.
Coming up on America's Court.
My nipple was so damaged that basically they had to just reconstruct a whole new nipple. They had to take some skin from the inside of my thigh, basically to create a whole new areola, and then the rest was tattooed.
And later.
So I'm here today, Your Honor, suing Mr. Tannery $15,000 when he led me to believe I was winning a brand new car. In actuality, I won a remote control car.
All right.
Closed captioning provided by
like softness and protection of Pampers Swaddlers. So all you fear is love. Pampers.
This one did.
You think Mom will notice?
You have a disease called chronic dry eye, caused by reduced tear production due to inflammation. I do too. I use Restasis, cyclosporin ophthalmic emulsion.
Is Restasis different from artificial tears?
Yes, because artificial tears give temporary relief, but only Restasis helps make your own tears. With continued use, 1 drop in each eye twice a day, every day. Restasis helps increase your eye's natural ability to produce tears, which may be reduced by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. Restasis did not increase tear production in patients using anti-inflammatory eye drops or tear duct plugs. To help avoid eye injury and contamination, do not touch the vial tip to your eye or other surfaces. Contact lenses should not be worn within 15 minutes of using Restasis. The most common side effect is a temporary burning sensation.
Make your eyes a priority. Go to Restasis.com to take the dry eye quiz. Then call your eye doctor to get screened and ask about Restasis. Make more of your own tears.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. We're back with the case of Shilo Perkins, who is suing Craig Holloway for medical expenses.
Do you have proof of the injuries?
I have
I know you suffered injuries, but I want to see in terms of the cost.
Yes.
Where does this $3,660 come from?
My nipple was so damaged that basically they had to just reconstruct a whole new nipple. They had to take some skin from the inside of my thigh, basically to create a whole new areola, and then the rest was tattooed.
You got now these very expensive medical bills.
Yes.
Where was this taking place? Was this on campus?
It was at one of the upperclassmen's house.
Oh, the upperclassmen actually owned a house?
I mean, it's like a football frat house, you know.
So is it considered part of the school's
It's
property?
like right outside. I don't think it would be considered.
Was the school notified of any of this?
No, sir. I try to keep it under wraps.
What about with you? Did you say anything?
No.
Any particular reason why you wouldn't go after the school? You know he's a student.
Well, again, the professionalism in what I do, it was between myself and the football team, the leader that
all
came to
the
me.
people that you could say, pay me this money, how are you concluding that this is the person that should be liable?
Because this is the person that the incident occurred with. For example, if I were to go to his house and spill a glass of red wine all over his white couch, it would be my responsibility to make sure that that red wine gets cleaned from his couch.
Yeah, I would not own a white couch.
No, I understand.
Okay.
Let's not get smart. If I were to run into his car, it is my responsibility to take it. Okay, thank you.
You're explaining the law to me.
Okay.
I think I'm good in that area. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel will come down in favor of the defendant. Because what I have is someone who is very smart and is very savvy, and yet the reason why people work for companies or they work for individuals is to cover them in these sorts of liabilities type of matters. Both of you want to be grown. You want to be grown and drink and do all that comes with that. And there are consequences. As great as it is being grown, there are consequences to being grown. As great as it is to be this independent woman, you also said, I'm going to do this on my own. Well, the reality is part of your thinking should be, I need to cover myself with insurance. If you're looking at someone that's wearing a ring and you're getting that close to them with that portion of your body, there is also something called assumption of the risk. that you willingly put yourself in close proximity to something that he can see what you were doing, but you had complete control because, as you pointed out, you laid down, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm not going to do. And so now we have a situation where, for whatever reason, you are now having to deal with the consequences of your decisions. I'm not passing judgment on the type of work that you do. Something tells me that there are probably other means of making a living that you would be really good at, just based on what I see of you. But I cannot hold him liable, especially given that he's blindfolded, and you put the blindfold on him. Your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
I feel bad about what happened to Miss Perkins, but I think that justice was served.
I have a fat medical bill, a very painful injury, and still making my way through college.
And coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
So I'm here today, Your Honor,
Yes.
suing Mr. Tannery $15,000 when he led me to believe I was winning a brand new car. In actuality, I won a remote control car.
All right.
Closed captioning provided by
Minor wounds happen every day. Be prepared with on-the-go, powerful new Purison Plus Wounded Skin Cleanser.
the amount of $50.
Discover the train. Share an adventure. More than 130 destinations offer endless adventures. Check out our everyday low fares at AmtrakCalifornia.com.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Cooper Daniels is suing radio host Michael Tannery in the amount of $15,000 for breach of contract. Mr. Daniels says he was misled by the defendant's radio show.
You are not happy.
Not really.
Mr. Daniels, you're suing Mr. Tannery for $15,000 because what you thought you were going to get, you don't feel like you got the benefit of that bargain.
That's absolutely true.
All right, so let's talk about why you're not happy.
You got it. So I'm here today, Your Honor,
Yes.
suing Mr. Tannery $15,000 when he led me to believe I was winning a brand new car. In actuality, I won a remote control car.
All right. And so you're thinking, where do I go to come get my car?
Yeah, well, he actually told me after I called and I answered correctly to come down and pick up my prize.
All right.
Yeah, so I was like super excited. Just before Christmas, I'm a bartender. I work tons and tons of hours. Always.
You already driving the car, huh?
Yeah, I mean, my car's in and out of the shop all the time. So when I heard this, I was like a kid in the candy shop. I was so excited, couldn't wait to get down there. And then I show up. His receptionist goes out, gets Mr. Tannery, and he comes out, excuse me, sir, with this remote control car on a platter, sarcastic, smiling and laughing. And